Alaska Airlines has been on a bit of a roll lately. What started out as a niche Pacific Northwest carrier is quickly turning into a serious nationwide competitor with the likes of Delta, United, and American. With their recent acquisition of Hawaiian Airlines, they now have more long-haul jets and are rapidly expanding their list of international routes. One of the newest? Seattle to Seoul on Hawaiian's brand new Boeing 787 Dreamliner. With wide open award availability in business class, we jumped at the chance to try it for ourselves and kick off our 7-week trip to Asia with our 7-month-old baby. Join us as we experience Hawaiian and soon-to-be Alaskan Airlines business class and see whether it can compete with heavyweights like Delta One and United Polaris. At the end, we'll also show you how we snagged these seats for just $5 and 60,000 points.
Good morning. We are at the SEATAC airport and we are headed to Korea.
Yes, today we're flying on Hawaiian Airlines on one of their brand new routes, and we're lucky enough to be flying business class. This is going to be our second ever time flying business class, so we are super excited. We also have our baby with us today, so that will add a little extra layer of excitement. So we're just going to check in and go through security and then head to the lounge. All right, we made it through security and check-in. Everything went really smoothly. Rachel is just feeding the baby right now, and then we're gonna head into the lounge. If you fly on Hawaiian Airlines, they're now combined with Alaska, and so you get access to the Alaska lounge. So just a few minutes, we'll head over and check out the lounge.
Yeah, let's go get some food.
All right, love, what do you got there?
We have some really good food, a lot of good options. I love the cucumber salads. So I got cucumber salad and the shredded carrots as well. Edamame, green beans, fried rice, gyoza. They have desserts. Really great options here.
So overall, pretty impressed with the Alaska lounge here. It's not like blow your socks away nice like the Japan Airlines lounge we had in Tokyo, but overall it's pretty solid. The food options are really good and really tasty, and then the views of the runway are really fun. It's super cool to see the planes coming in, and yeah, it's not a bad place to spend a few hours before you hop on your flight. After probably eating a bit too much as we weren't sure when the first meal service would start, we headed downstairs to board our flight. Before we take off, one thing we always try and sort out before any international trip is our phone service. There's nothing worse than landing in a brand new country with no data, trying to hunt down a kiosk, compare prices, and hope you pick the right plan. And for this 7-week trip in particular, we're visiting multiple countries across Asia, which meant we really needed one plan that would work everywhere without the need to constantly swap SIM cards. With all that in mind, for this trip we've partnered with SimLocal, and it honestly ended up being exactly what we needed. What we love about eSims in general is that there's no physical SIM card, and setup takes literally just a few minutes. But what made SimLocal stand out for this trip is that they offer a single Asia plan that covers up to 24 countries, including all of the places we're traveling. The installation for us was super straightforward, and the best part is that you can set everything up before you leave home. It only activates once you land in your destination, so you're constantly connected. No queues, no roaming fees, and no searching for a local SIM. If you're planning a trip and looking for an eSIM, we'd definitely recommend checking out SimLocal. And if you do end up finding a plan you like, use the discount code in the description below for 5% off your eSIM. Now let's check out the brand new Hawaiian and Alaska Airlines business class suite. As soon as we boarded, we were genuinely impressed. The ambient lighting, brown leather finishes, and huge screens gave the cabin an instant wow factor. Hawaiian's 787 business class is arranged in a 1-to-1 layout. Each suite includes a fully lay-flat seat, a personal lamp with 3 levels of dimming, a built-in storage compartment with a mirror and noise-canceling headphones, a wireless phone charger, an 18-inch infotainment screen, and a fully closable door. We were seated in 9C and 9D, which were the last row of the business class cabin, and were pleasantly surprised by how private it felt back there. We chose the middle pair of seats so that we could sit closer to one another, which ended up working out really well. Unlike our Japan Airlines flight, the divider goes all the way down, basically creating one big shared suite. Anders had tons of room to move around, which honestly felt like a cozy little family sleepover in the sky. Within minutes of boarding, the flight attendant brought out some guava juice as a welcome drink, and we settled in to prepare for takeoff. In what felt like no time, we hurtled down the runway and took off into the sky. After frequently flying smaller jets for regional flights, it was a breath of fresh air to experience the quiet and smooth takeoff of the 787. After reaching cruising altitude, the flight attendants brought out the amenity kits with the Take What You Want setup. They offered socks, an eye mask, earplugs, tissues, hydrating mist, hand lotion, lip balm, and finally a pen and toothbrush inside of the bag itself. We particularly appreciated the hydration products with the dry air at altitude. After passing out the amenity kits, the first meal service began with macadamia nuts, which were scrumptious. Afterwards, they served the mains. I opted to go for the Korean menu chicken bulgogi. Rachel, on the other hand, went for the Hawaiian fusion menu, which was braised short rib. The chicken bulgogi was tender, nicely marinated, and surprisingly flavorful. The sides felt fresher than expected for an in-flight meal. Overall, it didn't blow me away, but for plain food, it was genuinely a solid dish. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Rachel's braised short rib, on the other hand, was the star. It was melt-in-your-mouth tender with a deep, rich flavor that you wouldn't expect at 35,000 feet. The shrimp and salad were also fresh and bright, adding a nice contrast. Rachel gave it a solid 8.5 out of 10. For dessert, we were served a pear-shaped chocolate mousse dome. It was rich, smooth, and surprisingly well-balanced. It probably shouldn't come as a surprise, but when flying out of Seattle, the Hawaiian menu ended up being the better choice. If you're on the fence for your first meal service, this is definitely the one to go for. After dinner, they dimmed the lights, which meant it was time for me to turn my seat into a bed and get some shut-eye. Okay, so I want to give a quick update now after sleeping. I just took a nap, and yeah, overall it was pretty good. I was a little bit worried because the bed is pretty narrow and it didn't look super long, but the good news is I am 6 foot flat and I was able to lay down and fully extend my feet. No problems there. And then also the footwell was pretty tight, but I was able to basically lay like flat pencil style, if you will, and sleep for a bit. So that was really nice. Now we're just hanging out as a family here, kind of all in bed mode. So we got Rachel and Anders over there, just having a good time. Anders is crawling around everywhere. He's about to take another nap, so he's a little bit fussy. But so far, the flight's gone really well, and Anders has done pretty well. After hanging out a bit, Rachel and Anders got some much-needed shut-eye, and I checked out the in-flight entertainment. The movie and TV options were solid, with a selection as good as any other airline I've flown on. I was also genuinely impressed with the general UI and overall snappiness of the screen. So they just came through and brought us some ramen as a mid-flight snack, and it smells really good. I think it's just Shin ramen, but I can't complain. Shin ramen is always really great. So excited to dig into that. It looks like we've got 4 hours and 10 minutes left before we land in Seoul, and overall the flight it's gone pretty smooth. It's definitely a different experience flying with a baby, but business class has made it pretty enjoyable nonetheless. After our ramen, I went to check out the lavatory. Outside of the extra amenities, the business class lavatory was fairly cramped and did feel a bit underwhelming. That said, the orchids were definitely a nice touch and were a big help to keep Anders entertained during his diaper changes. All right, so a quick update. We're about an hour and a half to arrival, and they've just gone over and they set our table to bring out our pre-arrival meal. So I've once again gone for the Korean style dish, and Rachel's gone for the classic Western dish. So last time I think Rachel's meal was a little bit better than mine. We'll see if that stays consistent or flips. We're just hanging out here. Anders is having a blast exploring our suite, and just waiting for our food. The noodles were actually pretty flavorful, though a bit different from the jjajangmyeon noodles we've had in the past. The salad was fairly fresh, but nothing memorable. It may have been the fact that in our home time zone it was creeping up on 2 a.m., but neither of us were all that impressed with the arrival meal. About an hour later, we touched down in Korea's Incheon International Airport just after 6 p.m. local time. Before we rate our experience overall and tell you how we think it stacks up compared to the competition, let me show you how we managed to snag these seats for just 60,000 Alaska miles and $5.60. Award availability on new Alaskan and Hawaiian routes has actually been surprisingly easy to find. We searched directly on Alaska's website using the flexible dates calendar and filtered to partner business. Right now, these seats are showing up for around $95K, but we've definitely seen that dip.
so it's worth checking regularly, especially for new routes like the upcoming Seattle to Rome flight. We found the sweet spot for Alaska award availability to be roughly 1 to 3 months before flying. But before you go ahead and book this for yourself, is it even worth booking? How would we rate our experience overall, and how does it compare to the likes of Delta One and United Polaris? Overall, we loved it, and we think it holds up surprisingly well against the big US carriers. Was it perfect? Definitely not. The arrival meal wasn't great, there's no in-flight Wi-Fi, no mattress topper or true bedding, and the headphones were on the cheaper side of things. That said, the core product was really solid. The suite privacy and build quality was great, the infotainment was snappy with lots of options, and the service was top-notch. All in all, we would say this is a great way to spend 60,000 points, and we are incredibly grateful for the opportunity that we had to experience it for ourselves.